Yes, guys. So, welcome to the Natural Selection Podcast. So, we are actually re-recording this. This is episode 9. Hopefully, we will not get any technical issues this time. We are going to re-go over some of the questions and a few of the points that we spoke about, and hopefully, it all comes across just as good. And from this moment onwards, where I am back in the UK, we're going to be recording, and then the episode's going to be out the next day. So, please continue to ask the questions and you'll get, the answers the next day, which is ideal. So we've got a block of episodes coming out tomorrow, which will be the 15th of May, and then from there it will just be one by one. But sorry for the long introduction, lads. How are we?
All good, bro. First
Oh,
week of mini cutting, so
Shredded yet?
I'm pretty
shredded yet?
yeah, shredded.
Yeah.
3 days shredded.
3 days last story, man.
Yeah, first couple of with a mini cut, I like to start the first few days going really low carb, just kind of drain the glycogen out and then bring it back up to kind of where it's then kind of going to stay. Just because I find
I've never heard of someone do that before, ever.
Well, I just find my body reacts better when the
that.
glycogen stores are a little bit lower. But yeah, straight into the deep end. I think it's 20 minutes of cardio on a training day, 45 non-training day, and a decent drop in calories. So it's literally, we want to pull off probably 4 or 5 kilos in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So just short, sharp, get the body fat off, and then get back to productive growing again.
Yeah, I mean, on that topic, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm a massive fan of aggressive mini diets. Obviously prep, sometimes you want to be more strategic over a long period of time, but when you're just going in between improvement phases, I'd much rather just kind of get in and get out and take it pretty aggressive because, when you're just coming off an improvement phase anyway, fatigue should be pretty low. Like you said, you're still going to be fully glycogen replenished. Your training performance is going to be good, motivation is going to be good, so you might as well just get fucking stuck in and get it done. That's my mindset with it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the theory behind it makes sense, doesn't it? 'Cause, if you've got energy, you use it at the start, and then till the point where you can't, you run out of energy, so you're going to be more energetic at start. So it makes sense to kind of go harder starting and kind of when you're tired, really.
I mean, yeah, the goal is to grow, isn't it? You don't want to be spending more time dieting than you need
Yeah.
to, and it just makes sense to just get stuck in. So
I'd say with using mini cuts, I'd never do a mini cut with somebody who isn't an experienced dieter. So it's one of those things a mini cut. It's a crash diet. It's what we would tell everybody who is just getting into fitness: don't do this. Because unless you've done a long extended diet period and know how to do a slow, steady, manageable decline, trying to do quick in, quick out, if you don't know how to come out of the other end of that without having a massive binge, it's counterproductive just because you hit those side effects of dieting way quicker, which means if you're not mentally used to pushing through that discomfort because right, I'm only doing this for 6 weeks, this is going to feel like a cakewalk compared to prep. You can deal with it for a short period of time, but if somebody's not used to that, it can completely wreck your longer term progress.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's for people that are pretty good and on point with stuff and going in and out of improvement phases. If you haven't run a proper improvement phase or an off season yet, then you probably should just do if you need to get leaner than a diet, not a mini, an aggressive mini diet yet. That's not what it's for. It's after. It's to breach the gap between improvement phases that you're not just gaining too much body fat basically. So if you've never done an improvement phase, it doesn't make sense not to do that.
Yeah.
But Patrick, the beard, mate. The beard.
Yeah, bro. It's getting thick week by week, mate.
So also we spoke about this. What is this big thing that is big announcement that you've made and big change that is going ahead, and is what on your face a side effect of that?
So basically, I am now a fake nutty, guys. I'm part of the thing like
Okay.
hey guys. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I've decided to go assisted based
And
on
instantly grew a full beard.
and literally just the moment I said it, I didn't even pin whatsoever. I just woke up and I had a beard. Like you just speak it and it just happens. So yeah, that's what the facial hair is. Now, um, the facial hair is just basically because I've been off work. I'm a firefighter, so we're not allowed to have grow like facial hair because it's like health risk when you go into fire. So we always have to keep clean shaven. I hate shaving. So the moment I had my surgery and I knew I was going to be off for a while, I was like, yep, I'm not shaving for a while. And this is where the results of 3 weeks of like not shaving basically.
Pretty fresh, bro.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. So that's what it is. But yeah, main topic, I guess, there's like I've decided to go assisted for multiple reasons. Majority of this obviously hasn't is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. It wasn't just like a prompt decision. Pretty much been on my mind since 2023 season finished. But I wanted to give myself another run of a season of natural as a natural athlete first and see how far I can push it before going assisted. And then obviously last season happened, did what I needed to do, achieved all the goals I wanted to achieve. Then it got to the point of like, okay, cool, I've done it now. Now to make the final decision. And then a lot of me was like, okay, I don't think I'm ready to yet because I was really enjoying being that moment of like just kind of um I don't know what I just got caught up the whole world of like how things were going and kind of put the idea back and kept on pushing it back on when I wanted to go assisted. And then had my surgery and basically I told my ACL before. This was like we're talking about good 12 years ago from gymnastics. And I, when I told her I had the surgery, then it took me. I knew I lost like once the cast came off my leg. I had like it took like years to build my legs back up to a standard where it wasn't like so like one didn't look like a stick and the other one looked normal. And then the thought of going through that whole process again, like taking that many years to kind of rebuild it again, just didn't. It kind of really defeated my hopes of trying to compete naturally again because it would take me because I wanted to compete again in 2027, but in reality it was I will not be in a good position to be competitive next like in 2027 with the injury if I don't take the route that I've taken now. Um, I and to just simply put it, I decided to like for me stuff like BBC 157 and TB 500 obviously like on the ban list to use. Um, and that's the kind of stuff I needed to use to kind of get faster recovery. So since that was banned and I wasn't allowed to use that, it just made sense to just commit fully to the course of where I was planning to go anyway. And not only that, to top it off, I went to watch Arnold's, I remember that's a natural athlete that came on the classic lineup. He was a great athlete. He looked great. Don't like. I'm not gonna knock him. But when he stepped on stage, in comparison to everyone else, he just looked. It was. He just stuck out. Stuck out like it didn't. It just didn't look like he was like. He was. Don't know how to say without sounding rude. It didn't look like he deserved. He had the look to be on that
It
stage.
didn't
And
match
for
the
me,
other
I was like,
athletes. It
yes,
didn't match
yeah.
the other athletes.
It was just different caliber athletes, and I think that's when for me I realized like I don't want to step on stage on a pro show and have that have people get that impression of me on pro stage. So I knew then and there, yeah, this is it. This is literally it. And I think I spoke to Donald about it straight away when I got back home, and I said to him, "Mate, I think I'm done." And I explained to him, and he understood what I was talking about. I spoke to my coach straight away. I spoke to my close friends straight away. I saw all about it. So everyone kind of like knew it was happening. It was going to happen, but we just didn't know when it was going to happen. And that was the moment of realization that yeah, I wanted to go assisted if I wanna for my next goal anyway, for what I want to achieve next anyway. So yeah, that's the story. Keep it nice and short as possible.
So are we changing the podcast to the kind of natural selection?
Maybe we
No,
should change it to like the free-bearded men now.
yeah. No, I think honestly, like I know we covered it in the last podcast, but like you've kind of ticked every box to kind of be like, okay, maybe it makes sense for you to do it. Like, you've competed for a long time. Naturally, you've succeeded, you know, to some of the highest level. You enjoy it. You're going to continue doing it. You kind of wanted to anyway. And then something's come along that is going to be a massive step back for that. So, you know, you're doing it in my eyes, and I think many eyes, like the best possible way that you could. So I think we're all excited to see you get back up there, mate, with a bit of juice.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be. Do you know what? Obviously, it's like a lot of things that always play in my mind. Like, it's, oh, but what if I don't respond well to it? Because obviously, everyone
Mm.
responds to it differently, and I think that's
Yeah.
what comes to mind. But at the end of the day, it's a risk I've got to take, and I've taken it, and I just hope I've got like a positive response to it, and yeah, that's all I can hope for, really. Worst comes to worst, I don't respond well to it. It is what it is. Come off it and just not compete again because I could not. Obviously, I
I
wouldn't
don't
be.
think that's going to be the case, mate. I think a good natural bodybuilder will always be a good assisted bodybuilder. Yes, I do believe in some people get a better response than others, of
Mhm.
course, but you could just say that for genetics anyway. Like, you know, people who actually have good genetics have got a head start, you know, and you still beat people that have that, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things that 90+% of being a good assisted bodybuilder is transferable to being a good natural
100%.
bodybuilder. It's the
Yeah,
training, it's the diet, like it's the supplements, it's the recovery, it's all that stuff. Like, I think a lot of people that hop on juice massively overestimate the ability of the pharmaceuticals to overcome
yeah,
their lack of diligence in those other areas. Like, all it's going to
100%.
do is it's like pouring petrol on a fire. If you've not got the fire going, if you just pour petrol on dry wood, nothing's going to happen.
yeah.
Whereas if you pour petrol on a fire that's already going, there's going to be a massive explosion. Like, when you've got all your ducks in a row already, so if any of the listeners are thinking about kind of going assisted, do it the way that Patrick's done it. Like, you want to live the lifestyle for a number of years. You want to see if you can cope with the training, the diet, the psychological effects of dieting and building muscle before you ever think about hopping on. Like, I see it even at like working at a pure gym. Some of these 16, 17, 18 year olds that are hopping on gear at like 18, 19 before their brains even fully developed. They've not. And why are they doing it? They're doing it to look good at the beach.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
on holiday. It's
Yeah.
like you can get there in a year or two, like doing it naturally. Like, even if you kind of hop on gear, you're still probably going to be a 6 month process. But the potential downsides of like your ligaments and tendons not being strong enough because the muscles are growing so quickly. If you've not got a good coach that's able to tell you about getting your blood work done, about looking after all your health markers, like all these other potential longer term side effects that kind of come into it, like if you just do it on a whim, the potential of some nasty things kind of coming later on down the line is much, much higher than if you live the lifestyle, understand the risks, work with somebody who understands the pharmacology so can talk you through your blood work, and then for if you're having any sort of negative side effects, also knows how to deal with those, not just brush it under the carpet and hope it gets better.
Yeah, and I think also just like something. Obviously, you've got different levels to go and assisted, right? And people talk about TRT or whatever, but like Patrick, you're actually older as well, aren't you? So like, it's not like you're doing it like you're not even in your 20s. You know what I mean, you are into your
Yeah.
30s and things are taking a dip. So you know, if there's ever another reason there, it's like not by doing more than you need to for TRT, but like there will be some actual life benefits that would come from just raising that a little bit, if that makes sense, when you're
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
in your
definitely.
like mid 30s onwards. Not
Yeah.
not that that should be a focus point for people, obviously, but you're not 18, 19, 20.
No, I'm not a baby, guys. Yeah. Yeah, so
Glad I say, man.
yeah, it makes sense. So yeah. So yeah, that's the 411 with that. That's all the news with that. So yeah, let's just hope that uh I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to like how things are gonna pan out. Like you said, I love my training, I love my nutrition. I'm pretty much like live the lifestyle where it's like it's become my lifestyle now. Um
Mm.
so it's just a matter of just putting that into place with a little bit of like pick up the arse, I guess, to kind of see where we take it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, mate. We spoke briefly in the last podcast about the WMBF rules. I did
Mhm.
actually go away and look at them, and they have changed it a fair bit, haven't they? Like every pose is like nearly different, isn't it? Like,
With the classic.
yeah, for classic, yeah, like
Yeah.
classic side triceps is like basically front, front, front triceps or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
They want that done. The classic side chest with the hams together, front and back double biceps both should have a hand up. Um, like that's like half of the poses like changed already.
yeah. It's I think the biggest change was in classic bodybuilding and bikini, I believe.
Okay.
So bikini girls are watching this, or like anyone that work with bikini girls, obviously make sure you look that up to make sure you're up there with the new posing rules and stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, we obviously at Worlds we experienced those changes from Worlds. I think they implemented it mainly from there. They started it throughout
Oh,
the year,
really?
but it wasn't like significant until Worlds. Um, and then yeah, that obviously has now filtrated throughout the federation to every country. But yeah, it's big changes with the side poses. Sorry,
Mm.
with the side chest, side tricep, frontal bicep, and rear double bicep, basically.
Mm. I think.
I think they definitely needed, because again, if you look at like the assisted side compared to the natural side, in the assisted side of bodybuilding, the big difference is obviously the size of the athletes between open and classic. Like they've got a height to weight ratio, there's a weight cap. Whereas in natural bodybuilding, you don't get as much of a discrepancy between open and classic in
Mm.
terms of weight. Like how many times you see it shows where people do the open and they do the classic. So I think it was a really good idea to have that defining, like, right, there is a difference now. Like the poses are
Yeah.
different. Like you have to now learn the classic physique posing to
Mm.
differentiate kind of like between the two.
Yeah. I do agree. I must admit though, I'm a bit sad about the front double bicep. I think like I understand why they've done it, but I think from the front, just hitting like a normal front double bicep, if you hit it, like if you've got a nice vacuum and wide ribs and stuff like that, then that's the
Beautiful.
first thing I think of when I think classic. And
Yeah,
now I've got to put the hand up. I understand, that they did do that as well, but like that's the only one I think's like a little bit blurred. For me, I'd probably quite like to hit just the one with two arms still, but
I
rules are
think
rules.
on the criteria though, you could hit both.
Okay, but then
So
I think you have to do it with one
you
hand up.
have
So
to
maybe
do
you
an
can
open
hit
hand with
that,
one,
hold
but
it,
you
and then
can then
eventually,
transition. So it's the
yeah, I'll
same.
have
I
to.
think it's the same with all the classic poses. You can hit it the bodybuilding way, but they want to see it in the
Okay,
classic way as
yeah,
yeah, as
well.
well
So if
after,
you're
yeah,
able to hit both,
yeah,
but if you're not, by default, hit the classic version because
yeah,
that's the one they want to see.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Obviously, we've got PCA 2 this weekend as well, haven't we?
yeah,
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Saturday, Sunday actually.
Hmm.
They've got first timers on Saturday. I know a few people doing them. I did actually want to get up to watch it, but I'm not gonna be able to make it,
So
unfortunately.
there's another
But
PCA one, not this weekend, the weekend after, isn't there?
what
I think
natural
it
one?
like shows
I
every
don't
no
think
natural
I
one.
don't think it's the natural one.
No, there might be. They have shows all the time, but there's definitely one Saturday, and then at the same venue, there's the natural one the day after on the Sunday.
Right, okay.
Um, but they do a shitload of shows. It wouldn't surprise me if they have another one.
Yeah.
Um,
We guys know anyone doing this naturals one? Because I know obviously Finn Kelly, I believe, is doing naturals too, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Finn's got such a clean physique, man. Like really nice, really pleasing, really aesthetic. I'm looking forward to
yeah,
seeing that. best. And yeah, there's a few other people. There's actually a couple of people from our gym that are doing it, but yeah, I don't know too many people.
I've got a
And
figure
the
girl that is doing it. It's her last show of the season, I believe. She did the naturals one, and she took the overall. But she's doing this was meant to be
Oh wow.
her original show, but because she came in early, she did an earlier show basically.
Oh, okay.
And so this is actually meant to be her actual show. So it'll be interesting how her
He's
look is.
improved.
I mean, I say like a client. I did her routine and did the posing for it. That's it. I didn't actually prep her. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see
is
like how.
she gonna then do nationals at the end of the year then, or is literally she's just
I don't know. I mean, I've said to her, look, listen. I said to her, you should do it. The fact that your first
yeah
show, you're already taking overall and you're looking still spot on. Take a little bit break from dieting, and then maybe put it back in for national, because it'll make
yeah.
sense to do. Whether she does
If
it
she
or
doesn't
not,
rebound too hard with it being a first season, there's no reason
yeah,
why you can't take a couple
Yeah.
of months back up at like maintenance and then kind of pull
yeah,
it back in then for the back end of the year.
yeah.
Trying to
Whether
control
she
that
does or
first
not,
season's hard though, isn't it?
it
Yeah.
is. It's a long
For
time. She's
most
been prepping,
people.
I think, since just before Christmas.
Ooh, yeah, because that'll take it to about 12 months of prep then.
Yeah, so it'll be a long time
It's
for if she
definitely
does. So
doable, like if she can keep it tight. But like, I think when you think like maintenance, you think, yeah, I can do that, but it ain't gonna be much more than what you're eating now. Like
yeah,
realistically,
yeah.
like it won't be a lot, and it will feel like you're still on prep. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? For
Yeah.
majority of that, probably because your hunger is going to be just through the roof, and you're not your goal is going to be a little bit pushed back. But yeah, I mean, if you can, I'm not saying don't do it. Absolutely, like if I was in your boat, I probably would try. Well, not try, I would. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said to her, like, look, I'm not like I think you should, but obviously, it's her first season as well. So for her, I guess it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It's good to just get a couple of shows out of the way the first season, and then kind of pull
Yeah.
back and then reassess and go again another year or whatever. So yeah, she's a very good athlete anyway. She's a very very good athlete. So in terms of structure and muscularity, so I think she's got a very bright future in that division. So hopefully
Mm.
she steps back on the stage again next year at least, and then see where things take from there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I think we've got first timers supernaturals in 3
Oh, you mean
weeks.
the WNBF novice one?
No,
Yeah.
the WNBF, not
Yeah.
supernaturals. The
Yeah.
the
novice
WNBF
first
first
time.
timers.
That's
Yeah,
got to be
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
That's beginning of June, I think.
I believe so.
7th of June.
That's going to be
Yeah.
a very good show. That's going to be a very, very, because there's some really good athletes lining up doing that show, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got two posing clients in that show, and I know I've seen lots of people that are prepping for that show. I'm actually doing the posing seminar this Sunday.
Oh, good.
So that'll be interesting to see like who turns up to kind of get an idea of who's going to be competing.
Is that the London one?
Yeah, the London one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, the natural standard is just fucking getting
Oh,
ridiculous.
mate.
I'm so excited for the shows at the end of the year just to see like how ridiculous it is.
That's actually the reason why I went assisted, because I knew I'm going to get smoked from now on.
Yeah, well, at least we've got a way out.
Yeah.
I've got
Stuck
to
here.
give it a go. I should just take my first season and retire, I think.
Yeah, no,
Before I get cooked.
So the WNBF put out the list of the pro shows essentially for the rest of this year, and I took a screenshot and I had to send it across to my coach so we can start planning for next year, because
It'll be similar,
most
won't
of the
it?
time the shows are normally within like a week or two of where they are, because obviously with the WNBF you don't want to have like pro shows like having 3 pro shows on like the same weekend, because then your pool of athletes that can do it becomes incredibly small.
Yeah.
But I think I'm looking at Dubai, Supernaturals, and then maybe either the Swiss or the
And that's
Germany
both,
show. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
pro
the question.
shows.
Yeah, all right. And I'm guessing though they'll have the normal amateurs and then the pros will be in the evening, won't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be sick, man. Dubai would be a great place to do it. You've got everything.
Yeah,
right?
I was watching some of the video from the Dubai show and last year, and I was like, this looks amazing.
Maybe
but
I'll have to do that one. come out with you.
Well, I think the Dubai show's before the Supernatural, so they've changed the rules now. So you have to compete in the UK first to then be able to compete internationally.
I think you can ask to be allowed to do it, but you have to have basically competed in the last 18 months, and then they have to like give you the thumbs up, basically.
Yeah.
So, but
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. You know what?
Korean shows look quite good as well, you know, like the Korean Pro Shows one. Like, I think there's one in Malaysia, like they did last year, which was like insane, where they had like about 400 plus athletes just for men's physique alone in amateur run. The Pro Show was after. It was the most busiest show like the BNBF has ever had. It was crazy busy. Yeah.
So my coach, a guy called Jake Brayley, he's based in India, Thailand, like he lives out there now. So he's got over like 60 plus athletes like out there. And he was saying like the shows in like India and Thailand, whether it's WMBF, OCR or whatever it is, it's ridiculous. Like, because if you think about it over here, the cost of getting like a theatre to rent out, like all the overheads are massive. Whereas over there, it's dirt cheap, which means they can make the quality of the show amazing.
Yeah.
And also the access to like anabolics is a lot more iffy. So like the natural side is absolutely booming out there. And like you said, you'll have a show with like 1,000 athletes in. So even if they've only paid like 30 quid to enter, that's like, what?
They'll make the
30 grand there from athlete entries. That's before you get sponsorships and all that kind of stuff coming in, which means they can reinvest into the federation a hell of a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's exciting, mate. I am like excited by it all. And you know what? I was actually speaking to one of my guys who's going at the end of the year, and we're probably going to have to change his timeline a little bit because you know for the NBW. You have to actually compete with the UK DFBA to do the MBW.
I fell foul of that last year.
Did you?
I had to do the nationals, but now UK DFBA is not their nationals aren't open, are they? So you'll have to compete at the MBW, unless you're a pro, you'll have to do a UK DFBA qualifier.
Yeah, which I
think then means you can do the MBW, or you've then got to qualify and then go to nationals and then be able to do the MBW.
You just have to compete in the show, and there is one on like the 6th of September, but that did put it forward like a month from our original planned show, and it makes like from our potential planned shows to the end like 8 weeks now. And that's like, it changes it a lot, don't it?
There is a cheat code, though.
The option that he's got is he can just do a walk-on for the UK DFBA.
We're just gonna do it as a warm-up show. Like this guy is fucking. He's gonna be in shape anyway. But like, just walk on.
The dogs have just destroyed one of their toys.
What's his nationality? Is he British? Because I know a guy that did the MBW last year, but didn't do UK DFBA, and all he did with his registration was obviously say that he's from his country.
Yeah, he's from the UK. He lives in
okay, he's cooked. He's got to do it.
Yeah, but I think, in all honesty, though, it might work quite well because he could just do a show with like low expectation.
Yeah,
and I think he, regardless, will still be in really good condition anyway. So you know, if you get a good result when you know you're not at your best, then that's going to really set you out. And also, I think it can give you the fire in the belly. Like if you do a show and you're like, right, I've got 4 weeks now, like you can really fucking crack on because it gives you that second wind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that.
And also, like you said, because when was the last time you competed?
He last competed when I competed, but I did more shows than him, so a long time ago now.
So having that first show, like you said, right, it's a walk-on show. Yeah. We're doing this for the qualification for the MBW, so there's no
pressure, really.
No pressure, no expectations. Yeah. It blows off those cobwebs of being on stage, listening to the instructions, like going through that whole process, which then means when you go into those
as well,
you know,
Yeah.
I think that's one thing people take for granted. Like, because I think I brought this up when I was speaking to Donald, one of the previous podcasts we filmed, and it was like a lot of people kind of go into shows without actually doing enough research into the show. So
100%.
anyone that's competing for the first time, to read up the rules, check the previous winners, because knowing
Mm.
what the previous winners will help you determine what the judges look for. So
Yeah.
yeah, always do your research in that aspect and kind of get an idea of how things are run because it makes things a lot more easier and like you know what to expect when you show up.
I don't know we said it before, but just go to some shows because like you just know how the process works. And if you know
Yeah,
how the process works, you can be so much more comfortable. The last thing you want to do is just have no idea and be trying to chase this, not knowing when to sit and do this, that, like that kind of. I've been, I was, I think I did go to a couple of shows before my first one, but not enough. But now, like, you know exactly what's going on, and I know I'm just going to be way more comfortable, and that makes such a big difference. Like, if your stress is lower, that will
yeah,
significantly impact your physique way more than most of the time some of these tiny manipulations that you might be trying to do. Just being a stress-free physique would probably be even better than that. And I don't think people actually believe that, but like genuinely, it's
Oh,
massive.
cortisol is
Crazy.
the
It's
number
crazy.
one peak week killers.
Yeah,
If
it
your
is.
cortisol's high, you're gonna look
You're holding
fucked.
water, inflammation,
Yeah.
100%.
I'm like one of those people when it comes to when it gets to peak week. Like I don't care how stressful work is or anything like that. I'm just like I'm zoned out, bro. I'm just here and I'm not gonna take anything on board. So work will be going on, and I'll do what I need to do, and that's it. I'm not doing anything more. I'm just chilling and trying to keep as relaxed as I can, just because I know how much it can affect you in your
Yeah.
peak week if you're not chilled.
But you've got like how many shows experience, Patrick? So it's easy to say that, and the only way you've gained that is by going to the shows, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I know a lot of what to expect, so I know how to navigate a lot of things when I've been in different scenarios. So this is why I guess
Yeah.
it pays a lot to kind of really like do multiple shows because you learn to deal with
Yeah.
different aspects because nothing is not as I've never had a single peak week that's been the same, even though I've done multiple shows. I've never had a single peak week that's been the same. I
Yeah.
still every single peak week has been different, so you have to learn to deal with different things. So yeah, doing
Yeah.
more shows definitely gives you the opportunity.
It all depends on like where you're at, like if you're not quite peeled yet, you probably ain't gonna need as much food as someone who's been digging, for a while and is skinned. Like my
Hmm.
first peak, we didn't do that much to be honest. But by the end, I was fucking having loads. Like it was completely different. And it's just because the levels of conditioning from the first to last were like very different.
Yeah. I don't know if you
So,
actually remember, but your PCA show, yeah, when you did your PCA naturals, yeah,
hmm.
I did not recognize you for like the longest time
Oh
until I
really?
was like, backstage sat with my mate who was competing in juniors. And then you was laying on the floor next to me. And then I turned around, I looked at him like, he looks very familiar, man. Why the fuck does it? What do I know him from? And I
The
had
prep
no idea.
face.
Literally, he
Yeah.
looks so different.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
but you would have known me like big Chris when I like used to be heavy. Like I was probably like 97 kilos then.
that's
So
crazy. That is
yeah,
nuts, man.
What's your stage weight now, Chris? Ish.
my lightest stage weight was literally 78 kilos.
Wow.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Um, so
You're pretty much close
I,
to you're gonna be like pretty much like very close to your weight cap then by the time you
I
compete.
think I think next time I compete, I'll probably be a little bit lighter with added muscle if I'm truly skinned. Like
Right.
that's where I think I will be. Like I definitely had a bit more to come off. Like I
I
was
think
in
that's
good condition, but
I think that's an interesting point you've just made there, Chris, because so many people want to know your stage weight and they want to
yeah,
know well what are you going to weigh this year? And
yeah,
I know each year that I've competed, my stage
mm,
weight has got lighter, even though
yeah.
I've built more muscle,
Just getting better condition.
because each time you get to that level of condition,
Yeah,
there's always more to come off.
yeah,
Like if
there is.
you've
100%.
seen some of the guys at like Worlds. I can't remember the name of the German guy that was like inside out, and it was like
Yeah,
I thought I was in good condition, and then
yeah,
you see guys like that where they're inside out and they're paper peeled, and
yeah,
it's like Okay, there's more fat that can come off. So
Yeah,
I know
100%.
for next time that, but then it's always it's a trade off, isn't it? So some people can get that peeled, but they stay bubbly and full. But
Yeah,
is it worth that extra 1% level of condition?
and
But
yeah,
then you
ruin the
can't fill
look.
out because your
Yeah,
body is absolutely fucked. So
yeah. There's
Yeah,
there's
I
definitely
mean,
got to be the right balance between the two because I feel like sometimes, like if you dig too much to kind of bring in condition, you tend to lose the look. So you have to like, find the right place to be.
yeah,
And I
and
think that's very hard to navigate, especially if you're new to the scene. Whereas if you've had a lot of experience, you know what to expect. Your best look is, so you can always kind of like play about with it to make sure you hit that target. But it's very, very fine line to like determine between your best look and digging a bit too much to overlook of to kill the look.
mm,
I think that's exactly literally what happened to me, and to the point of where I feel excited for my next season. So like, I never felt like I actually brought the look I was capable. Because the first look, I needed a few more kilos off, but I was like, I felt pretty big. Like I felt like I still had all the muscle and the fullness. And then I wasn't where I needed to be, we dug like fucking hard. And then I got the condition, but I just like look at the last ones and I was just like that. That just looks like a small tired version of me though. Do you know what I mean? So I never quite. By the time I got the condition, I lost, the fullness I needed, and it was probably just because of, you know, how hard we had to push at the end. Like, if you're going 1,700 calories, and you're doing your cardio and this and that, and you're kind of doing peak week training here and there, it's not as good. You're not going to hold that same physique. So by having more time would solve that, and that's why, like, the way I'm going to approach my next one is just having less to lose in more time. It's easy to maintain a hold where you're at. But if you have to dig when you're already low body fat and you're fatigued, you ain't bringing your best physique. There's no way.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, man.
Um, should we get into these questions?
Let's go ahead, big
I
dog.
know we did answer them, but hopefully we can run through them a bit quicker. Patrick, you had the most, so did you
I
want to
would
say?
have to like, because obviously that's from last week. Let me see if I can like get them up, and then we
so
should be.
if you go into your archive, so if you go into
Yeah,
Instagram archive, and then at the top it should say stories, and then you should be able to scroll back to the question
that
box
question.
that's on there, and then you should be able to see
Right,
them.
we'll test it out. I'm pretty sure archive store.
You post a lot of stories, mate, so you're going to be
Oh,
there for a
mate, I'm going to
while.
scroll page,
Right,
bro.
I'll start with mine. The
Okay.
first
Yeah,
one, which
let's do yours, mine.
do you want me to quickly do my ones?
Yeah, go on. Let's do yours
Yeah.
first.
So the first one will probably get us cancelled, and he loves it, and I don't even know if I should repeat it. But you ever walked into an abortion clinic to see if they regretted it and needed a refill?
Needed a refill.
Refill.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah, and then the
Oh
next
dear. Well, I've been
one.
in a long-term committed relationship for 10 years at this point, so no.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
got no
saying
answer for that question.
anything. Huh?
I got no answer for that question, mate. That's
I'm
It's not
not.
no though, so
Um, and then the other one, which we answered with quite a lot of detail, was is upper lower 2 times a week enough for someone with a busy lifestyle? And by this, they meant upper lower, upper lower, lower. And we all basically agreed that that is pretty much like the, in my opinion anyway, one of the best ways you can split up, just because you're getting, frequency twice a week, within those sessions. What you could potentially do is if you have like semi-decent legs, then you can maybe do an upper, lower, upper full body, and you just get a little bit more volume on your upper body. Then you get it 3 times a week. But if you're pretty even and you do want to build your legs up, then I think that's a great split. I know, Donald, you added that, if you was a beginner, you could even do like 3 days a week as a full body and then transition into upper lower. But for someone who's fairly experienced with the gym, who's going 4 times per week with, a pretty even body, yeah, I'd probably do upper lower or upper lower, upper full body. That's probably the way I'd approach it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
completely
that's
agree.
my on.
I actually ran upper lower um, for a lot of last year, just when work kind of got busy, and I've run a 4-day split many times when life just wasn't letting me have a 5-day split, or I think I ran DC training for a little while. So, um, in that is an upper body, lower body split. It's like obviously maximal intensity to give you the time to be able to recover, because if you're truly taking those working sets to absolute max, like you need the extra rest day.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, Patrick, we'll
Yeah.
let you get into yours. We know you had a fair few.
Yeah, so the first one is obviously always the weird ones, which is like what the people trying to be funny. It's trying to make him bodybuilding gay, and the answer is simple: yes. That's all I'm gonna say to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. None of
It's
us
one of
here.
the gayest sports anyway, so you add
Yeah,
Tren into the mix, then
it
it's
just
just
probably
it's
does.
like
None of us has on this chat
Is
have
there a
tried.
sport that's actually
We
gayer?
can't. You are?
Sorry,
is there a sport that's gayer?
is there one that's actually more gay
Yeah. Is
or not?
it? I said this last time. Then I come. Is it JJB
I
or
don't think
what?
there is.
BJJ.
Yeah, BJJ. That's the one. That is definitely getting more gay than bodybuilding, man. No one can compete against that.
The
That
struggle
sits at the
cuddle.
top.
And this is where, when he puts this on YouTube, we get all the fighters in the
Yeah.
comments coming after you, Patrick. Like, you just wait.
What is
Yeah.
it?
BJJ, Brazilian Jiu
Yeah.
Jitsu. So it's like
It's a bit way too touchy for me, man. It's just
You
way
think that's
too
more
close.
gay than bodybuilding?
it's,
No way, bro.
there's
They'd fucking
there's
kill
a
you.
lot of it's wrestling basically. There's a
Bro,
lot of
they
cuddling.
start they start the fight by saying one guy lying on your back, legs in the air, and goes, get what do they call it?
Get into
Come
guard.
into my yeah,
Get
that's
into
it.
guard.
That's literally it. Like you can't beat that, man. Come on.
I don't
I'll
know.
send you a few reels about it, Chris, and
Yeah,
you can
I'm on
see
the
what it's
fence
all
now.
about.
I'm gonna probably say bodybuilding's more gay, but
Right.
if you explain to a normal person the two, they'd definitely say bodybuilding's more gay.
No way.
You
No
know what I'm
fucking
saying?
way. Like surely
Right, we're
not.
gonna
If
have
you
to put a
show
poll
videos of
out
the
about
two,
this.
right? Right, yeah,
We've
let's
got to
make
put a
it.
poll
Yeah,
on our
we'll
story.
we'll put it to the public. We'll put it on the podcast's Instagram.
Instagram page.
What's
And you
more
have to
gay,
vote. Yeah.
bodybuilding or BJJ?
Because I'm pretty sure if you put both videos together and someone watches it, they'll be like, I'd rather be on that stage. Surely.
Don't know. Maybe when I see the video, I'll change my mind.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure I'm gonna send you enough videos to make sure you change your mind, mate. Right, and the next question was Epstein or Diddy? I don't know what they mean by it. It just says Epstein or Diddy. I'm guessing who's the worst. If they're talking about who's the worst or who we're picking sides for, I don't know. But they're both just as bad as each other, to be fair.
They're both horrible, horrible human beings.
Yeah.
Um,
And we want
You can
nothing to
both.
do with them on this podcast.
and I wouldn't go to any of their parties.
I mean, it depends how much money you're gonna get for the party.
You bringing the baby oil, Patrick? Yeah.
Really finds out
Give me
you're a
enough money, yeah, I
bodybuilder,
might have to, mate.
Yeah. As soon as he finds out you're a bodybuilder, he's screwed.
mate.
I'm gonna
You
be
might
about
be
like,
better off knowing
amazing if I
Brazilian
go back on
Jiu-Jitsu
stage.
then.
Right. What's it like transition from natural to assisted, and what's the difference you felt so far? There isn't much difference, like we talked about this already. It's just a case of like you just grow a thick beard, you look extra chiseled across the face. Honestly, I haven't even felt the difference yet because, like I said, I've only been like a week on it, not so far, so still a newbie to it. But as like we discussed earlier, if your training and your diet and everything is still the same, it's pretty much going to be what you're ready, like the last time you're ready to live in, just with a little bit of juice. So I can't see it being any different to how I'm living now. Probably figure out the further I go, I'm going to learn more about it. I'm actually start documenting this part of my life and maybe do a YouTube series to see if I can capture some cool stuff for people to watch and follow. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with that.
Sorry, Patrick, you just broke up for a second. You said you're going to start a YouTube.
Yeah, I said I
Right.
think I might actually
Mate,
start a YouTube.
don't think, do it. 100% do it. There's so many people that would love to see that transition. Like
You
genuine.
reckon? Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Natural pro goes assisted. Like obviously you want to word it in the right way, but like that's something I genuinely want to watch.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the
I
idea
really
then.
think I think that's a great opportunity for you, like genuinely, in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah. Well,
happens when a natural bodybuilding champion takes steroids? Like that's a clickbait title. No, genuinely, you got to clickbait the head out of it. You know what?
do you know what? Do you want to direct this? Let's let you direct it.
No, but I've been basically like been trying to like work on my YouTube, and basically the more douchebaggy the title, the better.
Right.
But it's always no, genuinely, it's like what a natural bodybuilding champion is. Do you know what I mean? But that's what people want to like, and
It's a search engine, isn't it?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I actually just recently have had like massive success with a random video, which is sick to see. I did like a bulking on a budget,
Yeah.
and
I
it
see
seems
that.
to be
Yeah.
doing like really, really well on YouTube, which is great. So yeah, it's all the douchebag names. It's where is it? Let me find it. I hate doing it. I always say like I hate doing it. My mate who does the filming, and he was like, "Listen, you've got to do it because it's like it's clickbait." What have I named it?
Clickbait works. Rage bait
I'll,
works. Like that's
I
How a
will
why.
natural
definitely speak to
bodybuilding
you more.
champion bulks on a budget.
Yeah. I will definitely speak to you more about this, Chris, because I think this would be like you say, would be a good idea to do. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with it,
I don't
and
know
then
anyone who wouldn't want to know that, because anyone who's into natural bodybuilding has probably thought about it, like maybe not properly considered it, probably thought about it, so they can almost live that life through you.
yeah, yeah, true.
Put up a
They can
poll
watch
on
me,
Instagram.
they can watch me like risk my life away.
People love it.
Yeah,
Right, anyway, sorry.
yeah. So yeah, we'll like I said, we're gonna probably do a YouTube for it, and we'll see how things go from there. Um, the next question was, if you could eliminate one men's bodybuilding class, what would it be and why? Um,
So I
for
said
me,
I said the 212
yeah, and
only
I asked
because
one as well.
the 212 guys could just go in the open, whereas classic to open is different, and obviously men's physique is different. Bikini, figure, they're all quite different. Whereas 212s are just small bodybuilders.
Yeah, and essentially, like if you look at number wise, all the other classes bring in a lot more, like
Yeah,
a lot more competitors and a lot more like uh crowd to the crowd to the show. So 212, I guess it's like not that we hate 212. I love 212 because like
yeah,
honestly, it's a great class. It's just when you compare the numbers, it will probably be the one with the least numbers of competitors in my eyes.
Have you guys seen like some of these classes in like they're really like niche. They're not part of like the mainstream bodybuilding where it's like the guys are
No,
coming out in like jeans
in
and like
jeans, yeah, or like a
flannel
suit
and
jacket,
like
yeah,
that. They've just got basically they've got way too many athletes, so they need
yeah.
to create some random classes to be able to put some of these guys in so that they pay their entry fees.
That's
But
so
it's
much.
like, yeah, the guy's just there in jeans with his shirt off, and it's like
they
you
do
just
look
look
pretty sick
skinny.
though. I must say.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
it's
remember
not.
watching a
it's
few
some
of them.
really
I've had
random classes at some
yeah,
of these
it's weird.
shows.
It's weird, but I mean, is it that much worse than men's physique? The men's physique guys don't hate on me, but I mean, they're covering their legs. It's just
Oh, they're
like
coming for you now, man. You just ruined your
maybe
career right
hold on, covering the legs, maybe not in the beach. They're just covering the legs when you live in the UK and it's fucking raining.
Yeah.
there. So yeah, for me, like, it's therefore 212. Same for Chris. What about you, D? You
Well,
said
last
me.
week I said men's physique, but that's because I hadn't even considered like 212.
Yeah,
Um, just because for me personally, it's the class I least enjoy watching out of the men's bodybuilding. I enjoy the like. Don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal athletes, but like I enjoyed the bodybuilding side. I enjoy the open 212 like classic like men's physique is there. I'll watch it, but out of the male classes, it's my least favorite, so that's why I would get rid of it.
Yeah, he'd rather see more naked men on stage than guys
Yeah,
in
I
shorts.
want to see those posing thongs
Yeah,
and some
exactly.
striated glutes. That is what bodybuilding is about.
And you lot are saying it's not fucking the gayest sport ever.
Right. Right. The next question was, what got you into bodybuilding? Which I believe you've answered already in our previous podcast. So do make sure you watch the one. So we're not gonna go over that again.
Yeah, we have
Um,
some of the first three. I don't think they're the numbered episodes. We've got basically an episode where each one of us has gone through like our story and why
Yeah.
yeah.
we've kind of got into bodybuilding. So if you go back onto the channel, scroll all the way back to the first few videos. There's I think there's about an hour each one, isn't it? There's an in-depth thing where each of us goes through our
Yeah.
origin story.
Yeah. Um, got a bunch of questions about posing, which again I talk a lot about in the previous podcast we did. So if you wanna know those, so I think episode 5 is all covering like all the posing stuff and how I go into posing, how I find my flow. So you can find all this information there. So I'm not going to repeat that. The next question here is, what was it feeling like when you won your pro card? Um, it's phenomenal. That's what it is. All I can say. It's like, it's obviously, I think you go to the show with just to enjoy the show, to do a show. So whatever happened, the winning of the pro card was just like a bonus thing on top. So it was a nice feeling. Um, you kind of feel like it feels so surreal. It feels like it didn't really happen. That's all I can say. But then you wake up and then you find out it's actually. I actually saw a video the other day of when I won the pro card in New Zealand, and I remember going to bed and waking up and it was there, and I filmed. I was like, "Oh shit, it's not a dream. It's actually still here." Like, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like such a surreal feeling um, when it does happen.
You
So
guys
yeah,
actually have like when you like it's so easy to lose respect of sometimes, isn't it? And just like I think I said on the last one, like not jealous by any means, but what I think envy means what I mean, like where you're like you almost you look up to it and it's something that you want. Is that what envy means?
hmm yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Like I'm envious of it, so it's good.
yeah,
And I think it's one of those things for when you get into this sport and you've been in it for a little while, you realize like there's obviously levels to it.
Mm.
So obviously starting off at regionals, then nationals, then internationals, and then like pro. And like I think for so many people, they see the pro card as like the end goal, and they're
mm,
like once I get there, I'll have succeeded.
Yeah,
Like I've completed it, mate. Whereas what I've now learned is that in order to get there, you need to live like a pro before you get there.
yeah,
So when you
100%.
eventually get that little card that gives you that confirmation, you've already been living that lifestyle for a year, 2 years, 3 years at that point. Like when you wake up the next day, yes, it feels amazing and you've got all that emotion because you've been working towards that for years. To like turn pro, most people, you're going to have competed multiple seasons. You're going to have been doing it for years before you kind of get that pro card.
hmm
Um, and it is the culmination of kind of like all that effort. But I think like for me, because I got loads of questions. Oh, like how do you feel like being a world champion and being a pro and stuff? And like in my head, I was like, I was straight back on plan like the next day. Like my life
Yeah,
didn't change. Like you don't suddenly get your pro card, you run home, you put IFBB or WMBF Pro in your Instagram bio, and suddenly everybody's kissing your ass. Like nobody cares.
yeah,
So
literally.
it's in a very niche aspect of a very niche sport. But for those people that do know, they know what it takes to kind of
yeah,
get there.
yeah. If you say to like someone off the street you're a WNBF pro, like they don't know whether that's a shit federation, whether it's the best, but when you're in the sport, you're like, okay, fair play. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. Right. Move on to the next question. What would you say to first time? What would you say to a first timer's competitor? Oh, okay. Have fun, bro. That's what I'll say to you. Like, enjoy the experience, be present, and just enjoy it. Like, that's what I'll say to you.
It's probably
Oh,
cliche by now, but don't go in with any expectations.
Yeah,
Like it's very easy for us to say that now because we've competed so many times. But ultimately, bodybuilding as a sport, you're going to lose way more than you win.
Mm.
So going in with expectations of like placing and things like that, if you go in with that, you're setting yourself up for potential disappointment. Whereas if you are going into it understanding that this is a subjective sport and all you're going to do is go and present your best look on that day. That's all that you can control. You can't control the competitors that show up on that day, the judging panel that's there. Control what you can and learn. If things don't quite go your way, learn from it.
Yeah, I think I second Patrick on just have fun. Like, it's not that serious. No one remembers, you whether if you didn't quite come in your best. And this isn't me saying be lazy. Bring your best, but just enjoy it. This is why we all do it for. It's not that serious. It's not the end of the world. And if you do that, you'll bring a better physique to stage anyway.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people also take for granted is like as long as you do your part, whatever happens, you've done your job. Do you know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
people get carried away, out. Like you just do your part, tick your boxes off, tick whatever you need to tick off, get your cardio down, get your steps down, get your meals sorted out. Then whatever happens on stage, or because you don't know how who's gonna show up on a day, so you do your part, and once you've done your part, and you can clearly say to yourself like, "Yep, I've done my part. I've done everything within the books." You'll be happy coming off
yeah,
stage, no matter what.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And the last question we've got is, should protein intake be higher or lower? EG study shows that you only need 150 to 170 grams instead of like 200 plus grams. That's a bit of
Don't know which studies he's reading.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's interesting.
so my
Um,
my take on it is obviously it depends on your body weight, and there's so many reasons why protein can fluctuate a little bit, but most of the time it is a macronutrient that stays consistent. It's not one that does usually fluctuate as much, but it can do depending on reasons. Most people will want to start at around 2 grams per kilo of body weight, if depending on how much body fat they've got. If they've got loads of body fat, maybe it doesn't need to be that high. That's a baseline, and it can taper up more depending on factors. One, just what foods you like to eat. Also for like satiation reasons, protein can be quite satiating, so you can run it up a little bit higher. And also it's really hard to actually turn protein to fat. There is multiple studies that show it's really inefficient for your body to turn excess protein into body fat. Like, the actual process is long. So sometimes if it can make sense to be a little bit higher. But yeah, like that's pretty much there to it. There is like a minimum baseline, and there is definitely a maximum as well. Like, you don't need to exceed a stupid amount, but those baselines there are like good rough numbers to go from.
So, in my experience, I think it's the recommendations are for health is 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight.
Yeah,
So, at 80 kilos for health, you need about 60 to 70 grams. So, that's the minimum just to be able to maintain good function.
that's general pop. You guys
Yeah.
aren't general pop. If
If
you're
you're a
watching this video, you're not
bodybuilder,
general pop.
you don't want to do the minimum because with weight training, you're going to be turning over more protein than the average person does because you're going to be
Yeah,
breaking down your muscle tissue every single time that you're in the gym. So that's then where the 2 grams per kilo kind of like comes in.
yeah,
What I tend to do is 2.2 grams per kilo of lean body mass as kind of like a starting point, just
yeah,
because then, as you said, Kris, it takes out that factor of body fat percentage because you're looking at kind of like lean body mass. But there are also studies where they have put people right up to like 5 grams per kilo of body weight
yeah.
and not seen any in
No
a healthy
detriment.
individual with healthy kidneys and liver
Yeah,
function, there was no detriment to health scores having 5 grams per kilo of body weight, other than the fact that they were having to eat a shitload of protein and it's
yeah,
really, really expensive to eat that sort of much. So it's one of those things, as long as your kidneys are healthy, as long as your liver's healthy, you can get away with a fairly high protein diet and it not have any negative effects. What it might show, if you go and get your blood work done from your doctor, and you regularly train and you eat a high protein diet, your creatine kinase will be high. But that's because you are regularly turning over your protein through your kidneys. So there is going to be more creatine in your system, which if you don't weight train and you have a high level of creatine kinase in your blood work, that would then indicate that you're having some issues with your kidneys and it's not processing it properly. So be aware of that if you ever do get blood work done from your GP and they highlight to you, right, your creatine's high. It could be because you're lifting weights, but it might be worth getting some extra investigations done.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I'd also add to that as well is, excessive protein is not necessarily the best idea though either. Like, because one, just the stress on the digestive system that's going to put, like I said, protein's very satiating. That it's going to add that, and two, like, when you're eating more calories, you'd rather it come from something which is easy to put into fuel. So, if you're eating excess protein, that's doing nothing for you. Whereas, you could have just more carbohydrates, which are actually just going to help your performance, which is actually what drives muscle growth, right? If you're performing in the gym. So you need enough protein, but you don't need excess. There's no real advantage to that. You might as well just have more carbohydrate.
Makes total sense. Makes total sense. So that was the last questions I got. So yeah, I guess that's
Cool.
actually perfect timing for us, to be fair.
We've done all right, and no one lagged out, so this should be all good to go. So that concludes episode 9. Yes, episode 9. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.
See you on this one,
Like,
guys.
comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys next week.
Good work.